lo más cercano a jugar, a ser futbolista, es entrenar.
In football, legends often walk away with their heads held high, trophy in hand, crowds chanting their names, legacies sail in gold. But when Xavi Hernandez returned to Barcelona in November 2021, he didn't come to bask in his spark glory. He came to clean up with ruins of a fallen empire. He was not the hero club was still to. He was the hero the club desperately needed. This is the story of how a midfielder Maestro becomes the unlikely architect of Barcelona revival, and how he braved the fiercest storm in the club's modern history. When Xavi touched down at El Prat airport, Barcelona wasn't just struggling, they were crumbling. Messi has left, not for trophies or glory, but because the club simply couldn't afford to keep him. Antoine Griezmann was gone, Gerard Piqué was aging. The debt has ballooned to over 1.3 billion euros. The dressing room was fractured, the fans were broken. And worst of all, Barcelona no longer knew who they were. The team that once defined football with tiki-taka now played without identity. The proud La Masia Academy has been sidelined. Camp Nou echoed with frustration, no celebration. Then came Xavi, with nothing but a philosophy and belief. The headline didn't celebrate. They questioned, is he ready? Barca isn't answered. Too much nostalgia, not enough experience. And the critics had a point. Xavi has only coached in Qatar. He is never managed on European side. Now, he was stepping into one of the more toxic and unstable locker rooms in the world of football. But he didn't flinch. He faced the camera with quiet confidence and said, "We have to bring back our DNA." Xavi's first act wasn't a tactical revolution. It was a cultural reset.
Todos una hora antes, ¿vale? El que llega tarde, 1000 euros. Ya empezamos.
He reinstituted basic discipline, no faults in training, punctuality mandatory, club over ego. He reintroduced positional play, short passes, third man runs. He gave minutes to academy players most fans didn't know yet. And perhaps more importantly, he gave the team an idea, a way to play, a way to believe. Results didn't come immediately. In fact, the early games were painful. Barcelona were knocked out of the Champions League group stage for the first time in 21 years. They lost to Bayern again, then drew at home against Benfica. They looked lost, but behind the scene, something was changing. Pedri, Xavi, Nico, and Abder were getting more time. Players began to run harder. Fans noticed structure, pressing pattern, triangle forming again. Midfielder control repairing. It wasn't beautiful yet, but it was familiar. It felt like Barcelona. March 20, 2022, the Santiago Bernabeu. The world watched, expecting another humiliation, but what they saw was a rebirth. Barcelona destroyed Real Madrid 4-0 at their home ground. Alba scored twice. Ferran Torres danced, and Xavi stood on the sidelines, arms crossed, watching like a general who spent months rebuild his army. Finally seeing the mass in sync, the fans began to believe again. The players began to smile again. And Xavi, he didn't celebrate widely. He knew this was only the beginning. For every step forward, there was still pain. The team was inconsistent. Injury piled up. Barca lost in the Europa League. They fell short in La Liga. The media again whispered, "Is this project too ambitious?" But Xavi never panicked. He kept building. He signed Lewandowski, Koundé, and Christensen. He brought back Bellerin and Marcos Alonso. Not only signings were brilliant, but each faced a tactical purpose. Xavi wasn't buying stars. He was building a system. He shot short over reputation, benched Piqué when needed, allowed Busquets to rest, and slowly, very slowly, Barcelona turned into a team again. 1 year later, the world looked again, and this time it was different. Barcelona under Xavi were no longer counted. They were defensively dominant, conceding fewer goals than any team in Europe's top 5 leagues. Ter Stegen was reborn. Araujo became a rock. Koundé and Bande from a modern fullback duo. Lewandowski led the line, but behind him was a midfield of dreams. Pedri dictating the rhythm, Xavi pressing like a lion, Frankie de Jong orchestrating from deep. Barca didn't just win the 22-23 La Liga title, they control it. While Real Madrid chased European glory, Xavi's man quietly in match point, choked opponents and won big game with maturity. For the first time since Messi's departure, Barcelona felt like Barcelona. Later, Xavi has won over most doubters, but he never stopped being questioned. His substitutions were criticized, his European form was doubted, his tactics were called rigid, but that's the nature of rebuilding a fallen giant. You are judged by your victories, but by your scars. And Xavi has many. He lost Messi before his first match. He coached without Camp Nou in his second full season. He has to rely on 18 years old to fix what €1 billion squad broke. Yet he never made excuse. He only asked for time and belief. So what is the Xavi style? It's not as flamboyant as Pep, not as fluid as Johan Cruyff, but it's disciplined, vertical, aggressive with and without the ball. He demands intensity from wingers, intelligence from midfielders, and positional perfection from defenders. He doesn't coach to entertain, he coaches to restore identity. And slowly, the identity returned. You saw it in how Pedri dropped between lines, how Xavi spin back to tackle, how Barcelona pressed as a unit. They weren't trying to be someone else anymore, they were trying to be themselves again. Xavi didn't just inherit a team, he inherited the weight of history. Every task is compared to Iniesta, every tactics it measures against Pep, every failure it magnifies because it's Barcelona. But unlike many before him, Xavi didn't run from the past, he embraced it. He quoted Johan Cruyff in press conference. He walked through the La Masia halls like a pilgrim. He reminded his players that wearing the crest wasn't a job, it was an honor. And that belief is become contagious. Xavi is not perfect. He is still learning, still growing, still experimenting. But in the world of instant gratification, he chose patience. In a club drowning in pressure, he took clarity. He didn't save Barcelona with magic. He did it with courage, speed, setback, and belief. And in doing so, he did what very few legends have done. He returned, not be remembered, but to rebuild. In conclusion, Xavi Barcelona faced new challenges, injuries, expectation, media noise. But one thing is clear, the storm didn't break him, it forged him. Whether his legacy ends with trophy or legacy, no one can deny this. When Barcelona needs someone the most, not a tactician, not a genius, but a believer, Xavi answers the call. And for that, his second chapter might just be greater than the first. That brings us to the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. It really helps us to keep creating more content like this. Thanks so much for watching.